All right, it's go time. Time to bring on the bacon. But had a big weekend. Went to a wedding. Brought the baby up. Everything went good. The grandparents came out and watched the baby while we had a grand old time. Danced the night away. The next morning, it was back at it. It's amazing what you're capable of when someone's life depends on it. But I even have fingerprints on my glasses from my kid. And it's crazy how much you can like somebody so much, love somebody so much, that you're like, their fingerprints on your glasses, because they touch your face or whatever. The fingerprints on your glasses make you happy. How does that work? How does that make sense? That's a lot of love right there. It's a lot of love. Tired though. But man, there's so much I could talk about. I as I do these things, I think about just all the ideas I have that are running through my mind. But one thing that happened in 2020, right around October, so probably 4 years ago. Maybe that's why I'm thinking about it, because this stuff happened probably 4 years ago. We were right in the thick of everything, and I was working in the church world, and I was doing music and stuff, and we were doing stuff outside and whatnot. But my responsibilities got overwhelming, and I remember, just with everything going on, with all the stress of working on a skeleton crew and everything, and trying to make things happen, and one night I had panic attacks. I just woke up, had a panic attack, and I had to take 6 weeks off of work, because that turned into severe anxiety and depression and stuff. And couldn't leave my house, or I couldn't go outside. It was just this crazy anxiety. It's nothing like anything I ever experienced before. And maybe I can talk a little bit more about that at a later date, but it kind of connects to this other idea I've been having. Anyways, I'm okay, I'm good, figured a lot of stuff out. But as I was kind of going through that, I was really just trying to do the self-help thing, where I was reading stuff that was helpful, listening to podcasts by Brené Brown, and just the self-help stuff, the TED, how to make your brain better, just anything to kind of help me, because I was at such a low point, kind of help me build my skills a little bit more as a human being, develop that sense of self, because I feel like when I was going through that difficult situation that had never happened before, it was really tough, because I've never really been, I guess I never really thought that I was an anxious person who dealt with huge internal struggles. I was kind of, I don't want to say Mr. Popular, but my job, part of it, the main thing was I was on a stage, and I was, in front of a bunch of people, and making sure, I looked the part and I acted the part, and I don't know if it comes through on the old YouTube screen, through the phone, through the iPad, or through the whatever you're viewing this on, but I have an ability to be in front of the camera and kind of keep my composure. So the fact that I was going through something that was so difficult, that shook my confidence, kind of shook me to my core, was a huge, it was an upheaval of a lot of things. It was just this upheaval of my identity. So I was just trying to build my identity, and figure out how to kind of fix this stuff inside of me. And most of what fixed it and helped it was having a supportive spouse who cares deeply about me, and who was committed and understanding, and stuff like talking to a therapist and whatnot. Yeah, it was crazy. Now I think about, and it was weird, because at that time, I felt so alive, because I remember I'd try to get out of the house, and like my first step was going to the mailbox, and the next step was, walking around the neighborhood, just going for a walk, just trying to breathe. And it's crazy what kind of changes you feel, or how simple life can be when like your biggest job that day is like breathing and going to the mailbox. And that expanded to walking around my neighborhood. I remember like the big one, like this big victory, was when I went for a walk, and I remember I was approaching like a main street that, like, I lived in like a neighborhood kind of area, a lot of apartments and stuff, really like kind of a little bit more quiet residential area. And I remember approaching like the main street, the main boulevard, and being really scared of that, and just kind of conquering that. And it's just like walking past cars. And now I can do that no problem, but I remember just that point in my life, it was like just so crazy. It's so beautiful how like something like that brought me so much joy and brought me so much peace in my life. So anyways, I was just trying to like kind of just build myself from the ground up, and trying to do what I could to make myself, able to go to the store. And just some of the freedom and the joy I felt in that moment. And then I like fast forward to now, and like life and the world and our society has gone back to normal, maybe, if you want to call it that. But I think about the responsibilities, and now I think about the content that I consume and the things that I consume now, and it's so much less of that self-help stuff, and it's just like finding interesting videos on YouTube, or like listening to live streams about wrestling. And we talk so much just about like this next generation, and I mean brain rot is like the biggest buzzword I feel like right now. And for kids, that really makes a lot of sense when you hear all that, the streamer lingo. And it's like, I don't even want to say the words, but all the special words that the kids use, and you're like, what the heck is this? Like, I work with young people, and like I hear this stuff, I'm like, dude, like, can you just formulate a sentence? But it's funny, like we project that idea of like the content people are consuming and what that looks like, and how destructive it might be. But I think about like the adult brain rot that I'm putting into my mind, and the way that I'm not necessarily developing myself. Because like, you want to talk about adult brain rot, I think like some of the brain rot phrase that I hear all the time is like just the word Prize Picks. You hear Prize Picks, or like every 5 minutes you can't go without like hearing about gambling. And like, I like gambling. I like maybe sitting at the blackjack table and even the video poker, and losing $20 or making $20, once a year. But when that becomes your identity, like you're a surfer, you're like a sports gambler, or like your identity is being an accountant, and also your identity is being a weekend college football bettor. It's like, is that brain rot? I don't know. But it's crazy. I feel like with the whole idea of just like what I'm consuming and what my mind's doing and what's going on in my mind, like I feel like I'm living two separate lives. Because when I'm at home with my family, like I feel like that's the most incredible thing in my life. It's beautiful. It brings me just this unbridled joy, literally on a daily basis, on a moment by moment basis. But then when I get outside of that, things feel a little bleak. I'm not quite as excited to go to work. Waking up, not so easy these days. So I don't know. But it's quite fascinating to think about just kind of where we're at, and maybe some of the struggle that I'm living in and that I'm kind of starting to recognize. But I think think even a lot of other people might be feeling that. I've actually had some conversations with people, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're struggling too, because on the outside everyone looks peachy. So I don't know. We'll see where things will go and see what happens with this channel. I don't know. Guess if you made it this far, do all the stuff that they want you to do. It really helps a lot. Makes me smile. Go ahead, make my day. Peace.